Hello, hello! Do you want to learn how science has built an incredible story around this boy? And dive into the Nasdaq companies working on this type of therapies? Stay tuned because in today's video we'll explore the most important biotech story of this year, 2025. Welcome to Taxi Biotech, a program to learn about news and developments in the world of biotechnology and to understand its impact on the stock market. The stock data I show here reflects how companies or the clinical trials are progressing and is not investment advice. This is purely entertainment. Today I'm taking you down Route 66. Long but beautiful. Stay until the end, it's worth it. So here's the protagonist of this scientific story, KJ. Last week, it was reported how this boy was born with a point mutation that gave him a disease with a grim prognosis. The main problem was his liver and the lack of a vital protein. Without urgent action, KJ's future was at risk. But in the end, the story turned out well, all thanks to science, doctors and the scientists who support him, and all the prior knowledge that we scientists have contributed to the world enable us today to have techniques that were unimaginable just years ago. The foundation of these techniques is CRISPR-Cas9. These are genetic tools discovered in 1987. Around 2000, Spanish scientists had identified them in animal cells, sparkling a knowledge explosion. The technique evolved through the years and appeared a lot of different CRISPR-Cas9 capable to do different genetic things. And what does this technique do? Okay, I'll keep it simple, okay? Not too scientific. This method allows scientists to identify a specific region of the genome and precisely modify the DNA there. That's exactly what KJ needs. He had a single wrong base in his genome here. So scientists needed to change his DNA here, and then it would produce a functional protein. There are many variants of this technique, and some are already used for human therapies, like sickle cell anemia. In that case, doctors extract the patient's cells, modify them, and reinject them to cure the disease. There are also therapies to fight blood cancers using the same method, and even more researchers are working on ways to inject healthy cells into patients with diabetes, for example, developing techniques to evade immune responses. This is the article where they detail the process used with KJ. What's truly amazing is that they perform the treatment directly into the patient with CRISPR-Cas9 and base editing, code with lipid nanoparticle. And what's even more astonishing for me, they did it in record time, in under 8 months only. They diagnosed KJ. They developed a specific cell line with his mutation to test the drug. They test it in those cells. They created a mouse model with his mutation. They check for off-targets edits in the genome. They test in primates. They assess toxicity in animal models. They produce the drug in sufficient quantities. They test it in cells. They receive regulatory approval and finally injected it and saving KJ's life. Through the process, researchers hit several roadblocks. They weren't prepared for a scenario that only happens once in every million births. The article says that they didn't get to use their preferred cells, and the mouse model didn't fully simulate the disease, but they adapt using existing scientific knowledge. After 2 injections, the boy recovered well, walks normally, and it has been the scientific success of the year. And now the second part of the video, what are the future challenges of these therapies, which companies are working on this technology, and what are their prospects? One key challenge, and now relevant to KJ, is the need for regular follow-ups. They must check if the genetic corrections remain stable, if the patient is developing immunity to the treatment, or if unwanted mutations appear. So far, everything looks good, and these side effects are not expected. So, as a resume, we already know from approved or later stage drugs that these therapies are effective in the liver, in the blood, or in pancreas, especially when applied directly to the patient using lipid nanoparticles, or by modifying extracted cells and reinjected to them. Generally, if a disease affects a specific organ, success chances are higher. However, major challenges remain. The biggest one is targeting the right cells, the liver. For example, reaching the brain or mucosal line organs like the lungs is more difficult. To treat the whole body, adenoviral vectors are needed. They trigger strong immune responses. Off-target mutations still need monitoring. And another problem is scaling up manufacturing. Currently, the cost is very high because these therapies often require just 1 or 2 shots. So, considering that success is more likely if therapies target specific organs, use lipid nanoparticles, and affect just one organ, we'll now analyze some companies with these advantages. We'll also review their previous results, cash reserves to avoid dilution, and check their stock charts. Let's go with Intellia, being Editas, Verve, CRISPR, and Prime. First one, Intellia. Their most advanced projects focus on liver disease and use lipid nanoparticle delivery, which we like, because it seems effective. They recently shared preliminary data showing they can reduce harmful TTR protein levels that cause amyloidosis, which is a great result. Their latest financial report says they have enough cash to operate until 2027, so no stock dilution expected. That's good. However, looking to the stock performance here in October 2024, they presented hereditary angioedema data. Although results were quite good, shares dropped 33% here. Some in Twitter, in X, blame 3 non-responders people affecting this share behavior, but other users in X, and I am agree with them, think that this drop was due to a molecule competition. It is a pill-based treatment with similar results, so watch out for competition in biotechnology is very important. So, Intellia has more catalysis this year. Yes, more angioedema data coming in June and amyloidosis data later this year. So, a summary for Intellia Therapeutics. They have a good therapy design, solid cash reserves, and economic data. I like it. I have to admit that I like it, but I would be very cautious in June since past data trigger a 33% drop. I am more hopeful for the amyloidosis results later this year. As I always say, if you want to invest, do it gradually and buy during dips if good results are expected. Next, Beam Therapeutics. Their pipeline includes some therapies with heavy competition. Not too appealing, but they have 2 lipid nanoparticle-based liver therapies, so success chances are decent. They say they have cash until 2028, excellent, and they plan to present data for 2 trials, one in June and another in the second half of the year. Preliminary data came out in January, March, and also in April. In April, here they reduced the target protein by 91% and stock jumped 35% with data from Beam 101 and 41% with 302. But after April data, they also announced a stock offering, something that we want to avoid if they have enough cash. So in summary, strong cash, promising trials, and good historical stock reactions. But there is a long-term concern, a strong market competition in later stage therapies. Next one, Editas medicine. Everything is still in preclinical, so this is not exciting for me. Some programs are in competitive spaces like sickle cell anemia and beta thalassemia, like being Therapeutics. They do have big pharma partnerships, which is a plus. They report cash through 2027, but still only share preclinical data. Their market cap is just 137 million, so low expectations could mean surprise. Time will tell. Next, Sana Biotechnology. A different approach here with hypoimmune, removing immune tags from donor cells using CRISPR and injecting them into patients. Scalable and promising. Still in phase 1 and preclinical, but promising results like curing diabetes patients with this method. Very impressive. We covered this story in January. They plan to release new phase 1 data on autoimmunity and cancer and new diabetes trial applications by 2026. But they only have cash until 2026. You know what that means, right? Think back to Beam's example. Capital raise can make sense long term, but be cautious of. Next one, Verve Therapeutics. Early stage programs focus on liver and using lipid nanoparticles. New data coming in the second half of the year, and they have cash until mid-2027. Last April, they released early data from the clinical trial that they are going to release in the second half of the year, and the stock jumped 79%. Good movements that I like to see. Next one, CRISPR Therapeutics. This one deserves its own video, so I will do it, but today I will do a quick resume. So they work on many therapies, 2 of them already approved, but the ones done inside the patient, a topic of this video, they are working in liver and with lipid nanoparticles, so are promising. Their last update showed positive cholesterol lowering results. More cancer therapy data expected through 2025 and solid cash reserve for many years, which is quite good. After their cholesterol data, stock rose 16% in the following days. But the problem here is that Verve target the same molecule, so this could mean rivals or collaboration. You see what I mean? Summary, CRISPR is the biggest player. They already have 2 approved therapies and more in development. Despite competition, they will release lots of data this year. They might even acquire a competitor. Due to their size, don't expect explosive stock move. But if anyone can deliver and scale up these therapies, it's CRISPR. Personally, I see CRISPR as a long-term investment. Those who follow me know I don't stay long in biotechs. Some may criticize me, but it's my strategy, and it's important to maintain liquidity and benefit everyone. So I tend to focus more on small cap companies. And finally, the last one, Prime. They are heading in the right direction with their most advanced therapies, but haven't started clinical trials. They recently shared some data and their CEO resigned after that. They've reorganized to focus on liver therapies. Just like in this video, we think it's a good idea because success chances are higher there. First data will come in 2027. Honestly, the market reacted poorly and 2027 feels too far for my strategy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And here ends today's route, a long one, right? But worth it. See you next time.